Welcome to the Rumph Classic Podcast, the first live podcast here at Community College of Philadelphia, where the 19th annual Rumph Classic is underway, started on Thursday, the 5-day event that it always is, August 1st through the 5th, broadcasting live, and we're doing so as the games are going to get underway. I'm Devon Givens from PHLY Sports and PHLY Sixers, and we're going to have a ton of guests just rotating through for the hour of 2 o'clock here on this Saturday as we have some great conversation, check in with a lot of people, and like we always say, you never know who's going to show up, so you never have any idea who's going to pop on. But as we have the camera ready to go, everything is already underway. Our very first guest is a staple of the Rumph Classic. Of course, the family foundational piece that they have. I'm familiar with Mike Morak. I know all the guys by name, but I've never really officially met everybody. I've been coming through for over a decade now, and I always see the faces, and I never run into. I just kind of mind my business, enjoy the game, say what's up to Mike, and then I'm out. But when Mike asked me to do this, there was no way I was turning it down, and had an opportunity to agree to it last year. I had a little setback myself, and Mike said, don't worry about it. We'll pick back up next season. And to do so, I want to talk with one to start things off on their first official live as we go. And we'll give you some updates about the game when things are going on. But Brandon Huff, a family friend of Danny Rumph, and the circle of friends that are about, 5, 6 of you that are like the real official family group there of the friends. I know about the Sharifs. I know about Mike, of course, Justin Scott, and Brandon Huff. Brandon, thanks for joining us, man, and start us off.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So, look, 19 years in, and just to give everybody the backstory of letting everybody know, we know about the story of Danny, the unfortunate passing, the tragic passing with the cardiac arrest, playing ball, coming home in the summer. And since then, though, when you guys first did it in 2006, he passed away, unfortunately, in 2005. But starting off in 2006 and having that first tournament, trying to get it all done in that one weekend, and now looking at it to where it is right now, year 19, approaching year 20, and what it is, did you really see something like this turning into what it has turned into as the official city pro-am?
I don't think any of us thought it would be where it is today. I'm very proud myself. I'm sure all my friends and family that are involved in this are. When we first started out, it was supposed to be like just a weekend. We weren't even thinking past a year. Maybe Mike was, but any of us weren't. We were thinking, neighborhood things, South Philly versus North Philly versus West Philly, that kind of thing. And now look what it's become. So we're very proud of how it's come along. It's beyond my thinking of how it was going to be. Like to be here at CCP, to be at LaSalle, all the other places we've been, all the venues, all the people, the love that we get. Even not in the summer, I could be walking anywhere, getting out of my car, and somebody's like, "Hey, when's the Rumph?" And it's like March. You know what I mean? So to have that type of recognition in the city and that love in the city makes everybody feel good.
Yeah, I mean, again, so year 19. So what was year one like? You said first weekend, just doing something to honor your friend. And year one, so for people who don't know, since it's so big now and we're doing a live podcast on the day of the day 3 of the tournament. And so what was year one like that's totally different from where we are right now?
Well, of course, the venue first was at our neighborhood recreation center. There's only 2 rows of seating for spectators. So you can imagine that maybe a quarter of the group that comes in now crowded all into one place that was only probably made for about 100 people. So by the end of that tournament in that initial year, there were people standing outside, standing upstairs in Mallory looking through the glass. It was people trying to get in, standing outside the door, trying to peek in and see the game. It was just a different type of atmosphere there because it's so closed in. But as far as the work, of course, it was scaled down a lot more than it is right now. The uniforms were a little bit more primitive than they are now.
Were they just T-shirts at the time, or did you actually have jerseys?
We did have 4 uniforms, but they were like the reversible joints. You know what I mean? Like now you got like every color in the world, that you could pick now. So
it's like the YMCA joints that you would have and just flip it over, the black to white, the red, white, And then you probably played 2 games in one day, so your jersey was like dripping with sweat. And you had to like air dry it outside and then wear it again. So, but yeah, the atmosphere there is like no other. A lot of fans. I just had somebody say something to me today about it. Like
I do miss it at Mallory, that environment, and that's Danny's home.
Yeah.
So it gave an extra thing to it by playing where he passed away on that floor in front of everybody.
And those were the weekend games. When things started to get bigger, play it at LaSalle or Arcadia or here, and then on the weekends, some of those games would be back at Mallory, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So they had maybe 2 or 3 games at Mallory, then they had an alumni game, for the older guys to play in. So now that it's here now, everything's at one venue. It's like amazing to see even this year now, like the contrast of that from the initial year to now. We have women's game going on today. This is our second year starting that. We had 1 game last year. Now we have 2 games into a championship on Sunday. Like, that's a big thing that we just keep on opening new doors and keep going forward. Like, every time I think, like, man, I think we've done it all, then next year here comes this other element. I'm like, oh, that's dope. So, like, we just keep on getting better every year.
So many people who know about the Danny Rumph Classic, they know it as the Danny Rumph Classic, but may not know who the person was. You did.
Yeah.
You do. Can you tell some of the people who are unfamiliar about him who he was, who he is, of course, the basketball player, but also the person? How proud would he be of you guys and the family having this going on for 19 years?
Oh, he would be ecstatic about this.
Yeah.
He was a people person. He was very funny. Everybody kind of clung to him. Like, everybody, he was a magnet for attention in a good way. He was a bright star. That's why our motto is save the next bright star. Like, when he came into a room, when he talked to someone, if that person left smiling.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And that's the type of effect he had on people, and that's not about basketball. He just so happened to be an amazing basketball player too. So he's just amazing. I think he would be proud. I know his mom and Uncle Mark are, like, so proud. They're so happy every year to see how this goes and how people still remember him almost 20 years later.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think our new thing is. We're trying to implement the younger kids who may not know who Danny is, and we want to keep that going, because now, some of those players that know him that were playing, they getting old, they ain't gonna play. You know what I mean? So we want to start getting the younger stars that are here in the city and outside the city to start representing the Rumph name, taking it forward to maybe lengths that we didn't think we can go as we did already before.
And that's why you guys have incorporated the women's showcase that you did, and also the younger players that are able to play now in a little all-star type game and having everybody going. So, now this is great, man. It's always great to just be here as a basketball fan and just come by and watch it myself. And as soon as, again, Mike asked me to do this last year, unfortunately couldn't. I made sure that we iron things out to be here and get a chance to meet everybody, talk about the family, and talk about Danny himself and about this 19 years and running for the Danny Rumph Classic.
Yeah, man. Keep going. We're going to keep striving. We're going to keep getting better.
Absolutely. The name's always buzzing, and that's a good thing, in a good way, like you said about Danny Rumph. So, Brandon Huff, thanks, man. Appreciate you starting us off for our live Danny Rumph podcast right here on this Saturday. Go check out the games, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for coming through, Brandon Huff. One of the, again, circle of friends that knew Danny very, very well, the family also, and so this is great to start off. We're going to have so many. I see my man Reem back here. I told Reem that he's going to have to get on camera because we've talked about this before. Me and Reem, like, yo, you got to come on and jump in. So we're going to have just a ton of people just coming through and talk about a lot. The game, is it underway, Huff, already?
Yeah, that's first game, Rumph Center versus
so 17-9 right now, 8 eyes. Oh, so Jamie's down there coaching right now.
Jamie's
so,
down there.
all right, so we'll see. Well, thanks, man. We appreciate it, and we'll check in again. Hopefully, we get to do this again soon.
Yes, sir.
As we run some guests through here on the Danny Rumph Classic, and right now we're going to bring in a new guest as so many people continue to just come through. We got to eat good, right? When you make sure that you play these basketball games and you get these games going, guys need to be fed well. If they want to go somewhere else later, they got to go check out Chef Karan and all the great work that he does. Saw him the other day here on Thursday. I did not get a chance to speak, but what's up, Karan? How you doing, man?
Appreciate y'all having me on here.
And he was gracious enough to give us some time to come in. And so what really got you into the Danny Rumph Classic? A lot of people just simply meet people through basketball, through different parts of life, and you being a well-known chef and what you do, the basketball side of things, and friendships. What brings you to the Danny Rumph Classic?
It's It's a little unique, I would say.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it's Danny Rumph is a quote unquote, it's a hood classic. It brings like I would say neighborhood and also hood, right? It's like a community of an eclectic group of people that all come together. And how I found out about it was just friends and like, oh, you going to the Rumph this year? You checking it out.
How long ago was that?
I would say probably like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't know Mike Morak, which he's the keystone.
Tournament director.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know Mike at the time, and I just had friends going, and so came, bought tickets, went. And I'm like, yo, this is like, I feel like I'm at the Rucker, like a little bit. That's what I can compare it to.
We don't have to go to New York.
At all. We got it right here in the city.
Yeah.
So just after seeing and experiencing like highlights and the production value of it, and again, friendships. You've seen people from all over the city that you know from different walks of life. And all being said, that kept me coming. And then met Mike after, and I'm like, yo, come on, man. Like, this is no way. So that made me want to support it even more, right? It's a great cause. And again, you mentioned people got to eat good. So
got to eat good.
I am a chef, and that's what I do. So Mike, he's like, yo, can you help out at all? I'm like, yo, say no more. I got you.
Yeah.
If I could be a part of helping that cause and what y'all do and supporting the community, I'm coming with I'm dropping the hammer.
So, mutual friend and Mike Morak. So, one of the first things I remember, Mike Morak and our good buddy Des. Well, won't say what Des works, but they posted something on social media. This great, like, bowl of food, and it was fantastic. And I'm like, yo, where'd you get that steak and broccoli? It's something. I'm like, where? And Mike was like, oh, no, we're going to go. Haven't been there yet. This was like a year ago, so I tore my Achilles, so it was like things kind of slowed down last summer. But Mike was like, yo, we're going to go. Des was like, we're going to go. And so that's how I initially knew who you were from them. So it's great to see that you're helping out in any way. So, again, just friendships and bringing people from all different walks of life. And when you talk about it, just being from around the way and doing it, basketball does that. And Mike I was talking to Mike the other day, and we were discussing just that basketball, while the basketball is orange or brown, or however it looks, it has no color to it. And to it, because Colin Gillespie is in here. I saw you the other night on Thursday. He's putting in work, and he's doing it against the Morris twins, and having Ricky Council on that team. But that guy was the best player on the floor. Just call it for what it is, right? With basketball
and he
fans.
also he made a point to be that. Like, you could tell he was trying.
Oh, for real. I mean, look, because he had the injury when he when he got drafted, when he went undrafted and picked up by the Nuggets, and when he did so, he got hurt, broke his leg, and summertime working out. He wanted to play, because I saw him at 1 year before, when he was his senior year, sitting along the baseline watching as a spectator and as a fan. But again, it brings everybody together. This whole big horde, this whole big hood, as Mike likes to call it, the basketball barbecue.
Absolutely, yeah. So, and I'll take that a step further with the Colin thing, and also bringing the food back into it. So Colin, that was my first time seeing him play in person.
Okay.
And he's a Philly legend.
Yeah.
As far as it's all Catholic, and realizing that he came up in those ranks and seeing him here, I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense why he wanted to show out. He's going up against local talent.
He knows these guys. He's done this before.
They all homies, and then you got the corner chirping at him, and then he chirping back, and then he doing nutmegs. Right. That was a great night. But going back to the food, and I appreciate you shouting that out. I'm a chef and restaurant owner in the city, and I recently actually closed my location because we're making a move across country. So we're moving to Denver, Colorado, in actually like a couple weeks. And it's sadly you won't be able to come to the restaurant anymore.
Hey, I might be in Denver covering the Sixers, and I have to stop by.
Yeah,
right?
There you go.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I plan on being one of them crazy fans in those stands. Absolutely, every time we
representing
come.
the hometown.
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah. Well, Chef, we appreciate taking some time. I know you want to go watch the game. Got your family here as well. Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it. Good luck in Denver, Colorado.
I appreciate you,
man. And if I'm out there covering the game, I'm coming through.
My man, yo, I appreciate you. Because I'm opening there. Come through.
Yes, absolutely. Chef Karan, thanks, man. Appreciate it. And now we got to bring in some other family and basketball royalty, and that is Uncle Marcus coming in, stepping in. Again, I hear so many names as I've been coming through for over a decade in this space at the Danny Rumph Classic, and I always hear about the family and Miss Candy and Uncle Marcus. So welcome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. No, this is great. Again, I was just talking to the guys. We had 2 guests already so far and discussing everything that we're talking about the name buzzing and throughout the city and how it brings everybody together, and it just so happens to be your nephew.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what his legacy has become.
Yeah.
And how it's affecting the city and bringing everybody out in a very peaceful, loving weekend. And as far as the family go, we're ecstatic, man. We love it, man. We love the fans. We love all the supporters, the volunteers that come out to give us their time, man. It's just so amazing. And to get to 19 years, I think that speaks for itself. That is, how amazing it is.
Yeah, I was talking to Brandon about the 19 years and how the first weekend went at Mallory, where it was just a weekend and just the guys, a couple of teams turning, the reversible jerseys, and now it has turned into what it has become. And we'll talk about your nephew as a person and who he is and all of that. But again, if this was someone else, he would be that type of player playing in an environment like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He would love it. He would be every year here, until he can't play. He would be here to support it. And so that's why, it's amazing because, people are just respecting who he was, the person. I think that's, when people come out and show out like they do, just saying how much they love him, how much his name meant to them. And who he was.
So who he was. Can you tell for the people who don't know and just familiarize themselves? Because talking to Brandon, they know exactly about the name as the basketball player and the name on the tournament, but don't know the person.
The person. Danny was of my sister, Viola Owens, and his dad, Daniel Rumph, the senior, who was extremely talented as well in his own right. Danny was, kind of laid-back kid, but when it came to basketball, his personality expanded. Yeah. So he had coaches would say he would be the quietest kid in the van going to the game, but when he go on the floor, he know he's there. He's performing and playing well. But he loved family, community, God. He was a very rounded young man, and he loved his community. He would just bring hats back from college and give out to the kids. Yeah. He would go hang out, go shopping with his mom. And then he would go play ball with his peers, you know what I mean? So he was just that well-rounded kid.
But I also know he played ball with you too. Yeah. And your peers. And so he was around you a lot. So did it come from you, a lot of that? Did it come from, where did it come from? Well, the love of basketball.
Our family. We have I have an older brother, Randy, God rest his soul, who was drafted back in the day when they had rounds. He was drafted 6th round.
Wow.
6th round out of Textile University after his sophomore year. Extremely talented, and then myself, I played ball at Cal State U. So he was under. His dad was a great baller. Went to Hofstra. Yeah. And so he's always knows basketball around him. Our friends and watching us play different leagues, coming myself, my brother playing. So he's always seen basketball, and it wasn't pushed on him. Then we let him gradually decide this is what he wanted to do. And once he decided, he put the work in and became the player that he was.
Yeah, because just me not knowing him, but just as a basketball fan growing up in the city from West Philly, and you just know names that are around. You just know everybody, and I'm a little bit older than he is, so his time, I'm watching and I see, okay, Western Kentucky and all of that. And then, so I always root for the local guys. He was one of the local guys at a big school. I couldn't do it. I wish I could have. But I always rooted for those guys and just to see it, and again, to see this turn out. And the thing that, for me, involved as a fan and just loving basketball, loving how the city, the culture of basketball in our city, but also learning in the story, meeting Mike years ago. Mike and I became very close over a decade now. And then understanding the circle group that he has of friends that Danny was a part of. Right. So how were you guys able to get everything started and keeping it and trusting that with the group of friends too?
Well, the group of friends was like nephews because we've known them since they were all with Danny. Exactly. They were all kids, right. Coming up. So it was, that was the easy part. That was more nephews of ours, that was added to the family. But once the tragedy happened that evening, they were with him. And so we knew that pain that we were feeling, we knew they were feeling it because they were there witnessing it. And so when we decided to do this, my sister and I decided to do the foundation. Our first mission was to bring awareness to sudden cardiac arrest and try to prevent it from happening to somebody else.
Sure.
But because they were young and that we knew they were hurting, they came to us and said, hey, we want to do something to honor him. And what they knew was basketball because that's what they played. And we went from reversible T-shirts to from individual people sponsoring the team.
Yes.
To now we got big corporations sponsoring the whole organization. So
yeah. I was listening to your podcast with Sam, and you talking about one of your favorite memories was the Jason Tatum piece of it, where he comes in. But to add to that, it's just the fact that you said all these names of people sponsoring, but also you just have, no big deal, Jason Tatum is here, and it's because of your nephew's classic.
Yeah. That's we give a lot of thanks. It's so many people you can thank, of course, but people like Hakeem Warwick when he was in the place in the rec center. You know, he was the first NBA big name, right? And so he came through and got people to come through with us. And then you had the Morris twins kind of took the reign, and they got folks to come in. And so now that's what it has become. Jason Tatum here. Before him it was James Harden here.
Yeah.
And we got an old saying, within the foundation that those that come play, when they go back to their next season, they contending for MVP.
That's fair.
Like
That's
James
fair.
Harden, Tatum.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
So we just play with that, play around with that. But you're right. Like certain names come, you just be like, wow, like we've come from small rec center
to this.
To now we got Jason Tatum, Harden, and others to come.
All the pros that want to come through. So look, Uncle Marcus, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping by, sharing the story, educating people on a lot more about your nephew. And I'm happy to be here and hanging out and doing the first live podcast while the game is going on. 38-23.
Could I say one quick thing? Well, we having the free heart screen October 5th at the Crane Center.
Yeah.
Please, man, we got the sign-up registration here in the building. Please call coaches. Come sign your kids up. We appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, Uncle Mark. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Here on the the Danny Rumph Classic Podcast here, and we got to have some, lighten it up a little bit more in here when we bring in,
You know what time it is.
Oh, you know what time it is. Be funny in here hanging out at halftime.
Yeah, it's halftime.
Halftime. So we got them for during halftime. And how did you get involved in it, man? I mean, I would see you around the city and doing different things. And next thing I know, Mike's telling me, we're gonna have somebody on the sideline doing, sort of like the Rucker type of thing. How'd you get involved?
So it was a league going on down in Philly called the MMBL.
Yep.
I used to go out there and just bring my speak out there and have fun with it. I was trying to get into doing that.
Yeah.
And Mike came out there. He used to always support everybody leagues like he do. And he seen me out there doing it one night. And he was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
He's like, "I wonder if I can add something like this into the Rumph."
Yeah.
But I was real like, it was in like North Philly, so I was like really raw doing it. But he was like, "Yo, we gonna have to have a conversation
Keep
first."
Keep it clean a little bit.
Yeah. Like
little kids out here.
But I never knew that it was like the first year was just like a trial run, and then I never knew it was gonna blow up like it is now.
So how many years now?
I think we on like year 5.
Year 5.
Yeah.
So basketball. So we were just talking. Everybody that comes to, I'm gonna ask about what got you in the basketball and just in general. How many of these have you been to instead of being a part of it?
I've been to every year that I've been in. I played in the very first one.
Did you?
Yeah, I played in the very first Rumph, and I've been to 18th
Mallory,
Street.
wow.
Yeah. The dim lights. Yeah, I'm saying the crowd
With
wasn't
as jerseys.
It wasn't as scary to play out there when I was playing.
Right.
But yeah, I played in the very first Rumph, and then now I've been to every Rumph since.
Yeah. So your best memory, you got to share that one. Being on the sideline. Talking about Colin Gillespie and seeing what he was doing the other day and having, because we were saying, Mike was talking about it, basketball, it has no color. You just go out there and you play. And this white guy comes in the Danny Rumph Classic, and he's destroying everybody for what he does. But can you provide one of your favorite memories in the 5 that you've been doing it?
In the 5 that I've been doing it? One of my favorite memories is probably when Lewis Williams came.
And Lou was here for about 3-4 years. In succession doing it.
The reason it was one of my favorite memories because I took a chance. I was like, we're gonna start Lou at 50, and I'm gonna count backwards.
Yeah.
So when he was scoring, he actually had 50 over 50 points, and he scored his first point. I was like, that's 48. That's 46. And then the crowd started counting at halftime. I'm like, yo, he got 22 more to go. And he really had like 54. So that's one of my crazy memories. That he helped me down.
Work. Yeah, that's easy work for Lou, too.
Because he could have chilled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He held me down.
Well, listen, man, appreciate you jumping in for the first live podcast here at Wild Games. You got to get back to work.
Yeah,
I'm doing some work now. You got to get back to work.
Yeah. I got to get back down and help out best I can.
And we got to bring in some basketball. Some.
Oh, I thought that's what I was. You know what I'm saying?
You are.
Oh,
you are. But
fault.
we got to bring in some
I
more.
hope too.
How about this? Tomorrow, come back and we'll do that too.
Yeah, the person that's coming after me, I'm better than him. I just want to let y'all know.
All right, well, tell Sam that on the
No, I don't want to tell him.
I'll tell him.
All right, bro. Thanks for having me,
Good to see you, man.
Appreciate
See
y'all.
you down there, Gee Funny. Just checking it out and doing some great work there. And counting backwards for Lou Williams as he scored because it's just light work. Lou does that and does it very easily. I'm sure our guy here now from Shipley and Penn State, Sam Sessions, come in. You know all about Lou Williams.
Yeah, I know.
And the work that Lou does.
Yeah, I know a lot about him.
Yeah, and Lou does some easy work. He makes it look just so easy out there on the floor.
Nah, yeah, he's different.
Yeah.
I wish I could do the things he could do, but
Who says you can't?
I'll get there one day. But right now, we got some ways to go.
Yeah, man. So how's everything going? Enjoying the environment and asking everybody just about being here and what this means to them.
Well, for the environment, it's great.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of madness going on in the city. You know, so just to have something to look forward to at the end of the day means a lot, especially when it's basketball. Basketball brings the community together. But to be playing in a Rumph, I've been coming here since I was a young kid before I could even think about going to college or high school. So it means a lot to come out, see the community behind me, and people actually know me because of basketball.
So when you started becoming the player that you became, and you started to say, okay, I want to play in this. About how old were you, do you think, or what grade were you in where you're like, I want to play in this?
I would say probably I was in like 11th grade.
Okay.
I was watching it before that, but I honestly didn't know how far I would go with basketball until like 11th grade, but 11th grade, 12th grade, that's when I decided, I really want to play in this. I seen a bunch of my peers going to college and playing, so. Yeah,
so playing in it and doing it, so some of your best memories now that you've just started getting underway and getting out there, somebody you played against and you're like, man, I'm out here getting into this work with this guy.
Who would I say? Well, I'm playing with FOE.
Yeah,
so playing with the Twins, it means a lot. Being from the city, I always looked up to like Kyle Larry, the Twins, Cheese, all those guys that was in the NBA, but now I'm playing alongside them. You used to tell me when I was like 15, 16, I'd be doing that. I wouldn't believe it, but it means a lot to be able to share the court with those players, and I'm just happy to be here.
And in the basketball community here in general, what does that mean to you? As you said, a lot going on in the city and everything that just simply happens around here. And I was listening to Scoop talking to Sam one day on the podcast, and he said, everyone wants to have their bragging rights for 5 days, but it's the other 360 days that you get to brag before the tournament starts up again.
Yeah, that means a lot. I know whoever wins the championship, I'm close friends with the guys who won it last year, Tone Carr, Showtime Quan Lamar, and whenever I see them in the gym now, they just say, like, we won the Rumph, don't forget. So it means a lot. It's definitely bragging rights, but that just shows how important the Rumph is to the young guys and the older guys in the city.
Yeah.
If you win it within these 5 days, you put on a show. Some people might say you're the best in the city until you show otherwise in the Rumph, so.
And how much you playing in the Big Ten, playing for Penn State, and being around people from all over the country, how much does it come up at all from others that hear from it? Because, of course, you know about some of the other ones, the Drew League in L.A. and some in Miami and New York and Chicago and all that. But this is one of the pro-ams. This is one of the major pro-ams in the country, which is why they played in the one last summer in L.A. at the Drew League. But do you get a lot of conversation with people, your peers, and talking about it, about the Danny Rumph Classic?
Yeah, so I actually just finished playing in the TBT. It's actually going on right now, but a few guys on my team was actually trying to ask me if I could get them on the team down the Rumph, because it's Penn State pipeline, so a bunch of guys know about the Rumph. But in general, not really, because I don't really talk to too many dudes about pro-ams, but especially the guys at Penn State, they all know about the Rumph, and they all want to play for sure. Yeah. Well, listen, man, we appreciate you stopping by. Good luck playing with the Twins and the team and seeing what happens, because there's only a couple of days left, so we got to make sure you're playing on that Monday night. Yes, sir.
Thanks, man, Sam. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Sam Sessions, again. Shipley, Penn State, putting in that work, and G trying to say he's better than you, so he knows. Yeah, that's why you get the smirk that we do as we talk about it. We're going to have some more guests continue to roll in and have some fun here and discussing some basketball side, because we have the women's side that also is a big part, the women's showcase that was introduced last summer. that has become a big part of the story. And as we do that, we have to talk about that, what that looks like, the players that are starting to come through, and as they start to come through and play in these games, and what it means, and just simply what it means, and talking about everything with the women's game, because I watch a lot of women's basketball. I talk about a lot of women's basketball because it's fun. And right now the Olympics are going on, so you have a little hiatus with the WNBA that's going on right now. But we have Ayanna Howard in here hanging out with us. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm doing well. First live podcast during the Rumph. How's that?
First live podcast. This is a little nerve-wracking for me,
no,
but I appreciate y'all having me on.
You don't see the camera. We're just talking. We're
just
talking
having
basketball.
a conversation.
Yeah, we're just talking basketball.
Yeah.
What's the score, by the way? What's the score? I don't know.
42-30.
42-30 right
Rumph
now.
Center's up.
Rumph is up? All right, so Rumph is up. How did you get involved in the Rumph and everything?
I've actually been a part of, long story short, I've been coming to the Rumph for the last 19 years.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law, she was a part of the original Rumph staff, and I was able to start a women's league a couple years ago, and Mike saw the potential and tapped in, so now I'm here.
Well, how's the women's league going?
We had a hiatus this year.
Okay.
Had a couple of technical difficulties, but we're back and we're bigger next year, so I'm really excited for it.
And now the Women's Showcase here as well started last summer.
Yeah, we started.
How important was that for you? Once Mike saw some potential in it and you got it going.
It's always important for me. I train a lot of the young ladies in the city, so for me to be able to not only create a platform for them, but to complete and create a platform for like my friends and women that I aspire to be like was so important, because inclusivity matters.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, and you see how the game is growing now.
It's major.
It's major. Yeah.
It's major.
I mean, whether it's the Angel Reese side, the Caitlin Clark side, guess what? The conversation is there, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, so this year what we did, a nice little added piece, was we dedicated all the teams this year to a woman that's been influential in Philly basketball culture. So we got my girl Maggie Lucas.
Here.
We got a team called Team Cloud based off my girl Natasha.
In Phoenix.
Yolanda Laney.
Yeah.
She was momentum in pioneering like Philadelphia basketball for the women. She's going to be coaching today. I'm so excited. That's who I'm really excited for. Like Yolanda Laney growing up was just hearing those stories from my dad and my brothers. Like, I'm just so excited for her to be coaching. And obviously we named the team after Miss Candy.
Yeah, have to.
I mean, this is her.
Yeah.
And she's been so gracious in letting us share a part of her son's life. So we had to name a team after Miss Candy.
So since you've seen this since 2006, it's an
I was in the hollow, man.
Yeah, man. So how cool is it to see everything turn out the way that it has?
Honestly, it's surreal, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy to think, one, that the Rumph has been around for 19 years. And just to see how it's blossomed, like, when, again, we were in the hollow.
I was talking to Brandon earlier.
Yeah, we were in the hollow.
About it, yeah.
Standing room only.
Yeah.
Looking over the glass.
Yeah.
And then from there to Arcadia to here,
LaSalle.
been to LaSalle, like, just being able to see how it's evolved. And just
having stuff like this, having these sponsorships with
the
body armor. Just there, and not just them, but so many others wanting to partner up.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's crazy. Just to think that a vision, right? It's just a vision. It was just an idea to make it a thing where we got NBA players flying in to play for the Rumph. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. No, it really is. It's really cool. And it's great to have the women's game involved in it. And it's really good.
The goal is to make sure it's now added every year. So.
I think Mike will take care of that.
I think so.
Everyone that we've come up before, I even said Mike. Everyone says Mike, so everyone knows Mike. Mike Morak just knows everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here.
That's boss man.
Because of Mike.
That's boss man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ayanna, thank you so much. Good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
And have fun with it, and good luck to Yolanda, since you're just really excited about it.
I'm really excited. I'm excited for Maggie too.
Well, Maggie's about to sit down, so we're going to talk to Maggie about it too.
That's why I didn't gas her up. I'll let her do it herself. But I'm really excited to see where we're at.
It's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for sitting down for the live podcast here. As we see, again, it doesn't stop, Chef. Karan just doing his thing, making sure everybody has what they need. As Ayanna steps out, Maggie steps in, and Maggie Lucas here with us, stepping in. Sit down on the live podcast for the Danny Rumph Classic. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about
yourself?
Well?
This is great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So when they were talking to me about it, I'm like, Yeah, we can do that. You know, this whole thing will work. Well, the game's going to be going on in the background. I like to watch the game too. You know, I don't want to work and do that, but it's fun because I can talk about it, peek over the shoulder, see what's going on. Oh, it's a blowout right now, Maggie, 50-34.
Yeah.
Rumph taking care of business. But how cool is it, again, just talking to Ayanna about it, that the women's game is now a part of it for the 5 days?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, there's such a rich culture in women's basketball coming out of Philly.
Yep.
You know, Dawn really laid down the groundwork. And since then, I mean, the greatest. And, you know, it's, like I said, it's so rich, and there's so many amazing players that have come out of this city and the greater Philadelphia area. Yeah, it's really proud to see the women's side repping.
And just talking about the basketball in general, both men and women's, and what Philadelphia basketball means.
Man, it means everything. You know, I think back and I think about my roots and what it's allowed me to be able to do and to be immersed in this culture of basketball and what it means here. You know, it's everything. It's provided opportunities to so many people that, you know, otherwise wouldn't be there. So I owe basketball everything. Yeah.
And so many people that we've talked about as we were getting ready for this that, no, everybody has relationships. Most of the people in their lives is because of basketball. And with this, Danny's name continues on. Yeah.
I mean, and that's the point, right? You know, it's bigger than basketball. It's bigger than the game. It's the relationships. You know, it's the legacies, and that's what matters.
Yeah. So, what do you, as Ayanna was talking about, trying to continue the women's game going on just for years and years, and not just having it right now and only right now. What were you excited about last year as it got underway, and excited about now that we're in year 2?
I mean, that just shows. I mean, it shows how it sustains and it continues to grow. So I think that's the most important part. It got started last year. It'll be bigger this year. It'll get bigger as years follow. And I think that's the important part. You know, the game has grown so much for women in the last year.
Yeah.
But it has been growing. There's been a lot of players who have laid the groundwork for what's happening right now, and I don't want those people to be forgotten. So we got to keep pushing the envelope.
Yeah, and even nationally and worldwide. We see how the conversation is big from the collegiate level, and then specifically Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Everybody talks about them, and then it goes on. But it's not a bad thing because everyone's talking about it in some ways, bringing more eyes. You wish it was a little tame at times, you know, with certain things, but they're talking about it.
Exactly. You know, the relevance matters. I think the torch is in some pretty strong hands and pretty strong females, and you know, it's exciting. It's very exciting.
It is really exciting, and I can't. Once we're done, whenever we're finished up, whenever they say I can wrap up and go watch some games, I can't wait to watch the women's game and see what's going on today.
Sure.
Well, Maggie, thanks so much for stopping by.
Yeah, appreciate you.
It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
I'll see you down there.
All right, sounds
Enjoy
good.
the game, and we'll see. We have some more basketball, just basketball royalty, just continuing to roll in. It's a big community here, so we got Eric Worley coming in, step in, talk some hoops with us here as he puts the bag down and gets ready to put on the headset, talk some hoops. Eric Worley stepping in. Good to see you here on the live Danny Rumph Classic Podcast.
Got it.
This is pretty cool, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, to do it while the game is going on and just talk some hoops, have it in the background, and see what's going on. So, Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man.
Yeah. What your experience in the Danny Rumph Classic, please share with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of funny walking in the door every year and kind of seeing, like, the MVP list up on the wall.
I was looking at it on Thursday night, and I'm like, damn, that's a long list from 2006 to where we are,
Yeah, I think I can, you know, honestly say I'm probably one of, you know, probably a few select folks across our city that probably have been a part of and have probably seen all 19 years of the Rumph tournament.
Yeah.
You know, Danny and the crew of folks, Mike and Justin and Sharif, who all run the organization, are from my neighborhood. So I was one of the guys who had the pleasure of seeing all those guys as young men, you know, seeing Danny as a player. May he rest in peace. So it just gives me a great sense of joy just coming in the building and kind of seeing how this amazing event has kind of transformed and grown over the years.
I saw Danny from afar, older than he is. Maybe we're around the same area, but in terms of age, but I saw him from afar, didn't know him. Knew about him at Western Kentucky, and of course when everything went down and hearing about it, just the buzz. Because like you said, you guys started off small, and then it became really what it became. I got to know Mike Morak then after, and just watching it from, I guess me and Mike have known each other for over a decade now, and just seeing it continually, not from that start, but from where it was, from Arcadia to CCP, then the LaSalle back here to CCP, and what everyone is doing. Your thoughts on just simply how this thing has evolved the way that it has?
I mean, I tell folks all the time, I mean, it's kind of always good to just come out, kind of how it has grown and evolved. You know, I heard someone I believe on your show or one of the other podcasts or one of the interviews talking about their favorite moment. I mean, again, remembering Mallory Rec Center.
Yeah.
And, you know, Sharif Bray, you know, kind of hitting a game-winning shot and everybody rushing the floor. And just kind of seeing what it has grown into and what I appreciated about it each and every year. I think it's the one event on our basketball calendar in our city where it brings everybody out, you know, so it becomes across these 5 days. If you come into this space, you know, for 2 or 3 days out of the 5, you know, you're likely to bump into every single body that has ever kind of touched and or contributed to the Philadelphia basketball, you know, community.
And you may not have seen them for, I don't know, 9 months. But when you get back together, it's hey, what's up? I haven't seen it. It's all love.
There you go.
It's all love. Yeah, exactly. And that's the beauty of it, and just bringing everybody in. And speaking about Danny as the player, though, your memory of him as the player and the type of player that he was, and how proud he would be of this.
I mean, like I'm sure he is, you know, kind of super, you know, shining down on all of his great friends. You know, who my biggest memory of them is that they had such a tight-knit crew, you know, and they were super duper competitive everywhere that they went. And kind of, you know, Danny was the leader of that. You know, I think all of his guys, Sharif and Justin and Mike, you know, right? he said the least, but his game probably spoke the loudest out of all of those guys. And we're talking about some guys who had some pretty good careers of their own, you know, Sharif and Justin and Mike and all of those guys that was part of his crew. But just Danny as a player, he stuck out, you know, even at an early age. Because of his skill set and because of his, you know, a passion for the game and his ability to kind of, you know, take care of business on the court. So it was just great to kind of see that group of young men.
And again, just asking how proud he would be of this?
I mean, I think just kind of knowing what it means to the Philadelphia basketball community, seeing the great work that his close friends have been able to do. Yep. And I think most importantly, obviously, we all get caught up, you know, with the basketball portion of the foundation, but knowing that, you know, their whole mission of kind of bringing awareness, you know, to the need of, you know, the AD machines and things of that nature inside of our rec centers. Yep. You know, his Uncle Mark Owen, as soon as I came in, the first thing that he said to me is like, yeah, E, you know, I need to get with you about getting information about our heart screening. Mm-hmm. So, you know, obviously the basketball is the hook and what kind of bringing everybody into the space. Yep. But I think more importantly, bringing some awareness to some of those initiatives is probably what he's probably the most proud of.
But again, just like the friendships, as you said, you haven't seen somebody for 9 months, you come back and you just pick it up. But guess what? The relationships are there, and the thing can now spiral because of the basketball and getting the other things in the foundation going. Bringing the awareness to the website, bringing the awareness to, you know, the podcast, and bringing the awareness to the basketball, and then making sure that, hey, we got to make sure your heart's good. So when they have these screenings during the year and you see this out there, you make sure you show up.
There you go.
Yeah, Eric, thanks so much for stopping by, man. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Man, this is live. This is fun. What is it? 59-44 the Rumph Center right now. 4 minutes to go. Handling business. As they do. Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Good to see you. Eric Worley in here, hanging out on the live Danny Rumph podcast here again, as we have Will Poznansky checking in here. You calling the games out there, Will? What's going on?
No, I'm here to meet the great people involved in this tournament. I've had a really great last decade in basketball, and it's just introduced me to amazing opportunities like this.
Yeah, same. Right. So yeah, but bringing you here and getting involved in this, what does it mean to you?
So it means a lot to me. My background, a decade ago, I was the first person doing content creation with WNBA players. Yeah. And to see how this tournament is so inclusive of the women's basketball community, that means a lot to me. And then just to see how entrenched it is, how deep the roots are in the city of Philadelphia. Like, to me, that's what basketball is all about. I grew up in D.C. Yeah. Basketball is about bringing
We'll ignore this right here on the chest, the Wizards stuff. We'll ignore that. We'll ignore that.
Yeah, nobody's giving me a hard time. Everybody's been nice. I think it's because...
It's because you're here.
It's either because I'm here or they don't want to scare away John Wall. So they're being nice to Wizards today.
But, yeah, so the inclusivity, and we were talking to Ayanna and Maggie about the women's side of things with the showcase starting. And it's important to have them because the basketball is not just a men's game. We know it's an important part of the women's game as well.
Definitely. I mean, the thing that's amazing to me about basketball is how different the skills of each of the players are, but you have to cooperate. And you see that with some of our most recent NBA champions. It's the teams that cooperate the best that have the most success and the most different skills, like the most differently skilled players on the court cooperating together. That's how you have these magical teams.
And being part of the WNBA and seeing the game grow the way that it has, and the conversation that's around it, you know, being there from, as you said, for a while now, how much does that mean to you just watching it from afar?
It means so much. I have a bunch of friends on the Aces. I would like to see them get talked about, like FC Barcelona or the New England Patriots or any of these historic sports dynasties.
Yeah.
Like, they are – it's so amazing. Like, Serena Williams retired, and they won their first championship like a month later. It really was like balance in the universe where you have this incredible women's sports team that, I mean, to me, everybody should be talking about. To me, like, if I was the president, after they showed up at the White House, they'd stay for a week or two.
I got you. Yeah, well, thanks, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Talk about the women's game, talking about this game here. It's going to be great because the women's coming up here soon. The showcase is fantastic.
We're super excited. Thank you for having me.
I'll see you down there, man. Appreciate it. Again, Will, appreciate it. We got some, I assume he's got a game coming up here shortly, so we got to get, when's the game? Vinny Simpson stepping in here. Vin, what's going on? I've seen you play so many times, man. We never had the pleasure of talking and, you know, everything that's going on. So, listen, man, it's good to see you here, watching you play with these guys and playing. And that was an interesting game on Thursday. I wasn't here yesterday, so Thursday. You know, you seeing you guys go out there and Gillespie doing his thing and all that stuff. But we were just talking about how basketball just simply has no color outside of the color of the basketball.
Right.
But when you have guys come in from different parts of the area, you know, coming into the city, where you have so many different dudes, and then you have a guy like him coming in, fitting right in, playing against you guys in different environments, not just this, but to see it, and also all because of the Danny Rumph Classic coming in and everybody seeing it.
Yeah, Colin, you know, he's a Philadelphia guy.
Yeah.
Catholic League champion, Big East Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean,
NBA champion, even though he didn't have a chance to play in it.
I know, but
right?
he's a great player, man. You can't take nothing away from him. I've been waiting for him to come in here to play.
Yeah.
To showcase his talents. And it's good because it's good for the future. Now we see that when we do step away to older guys who've been doing it for 15 years,
right,
it's going to be in good hands.
Yeah.
You know, a person like Quaddy Green, also Colin Gillespie, Fat Russells, the kids that we about to play right
Sessions,
now. Sam Sessions. Yes. There's a lot of good talent. Kid T-Will, he's been impressive. Really impressive. I'm really impressed with him.
Yeah.
He's really shocking. So it's in good hands, man. To see them guys come back and, you know, pick up from what we left off and keep it going, man.
Yeah, and you being around as long as you have, we're not making you look old or anything. We're just saying you've been. What does this mean to you? Not just only from being from the city, but also for Danny Rumph as well.
It means a lot, man. Because honestly, I didn't really get to know Danny, but I was there that day, you know.
At Mallory?
Yeah, at Mallory. I was there. So got to meet him that day. It was a great pickup games we played, and I really, you know, fell in love with his game right then and there, gave him respect, and for that tragic that happened, it was like, wow. You know, I feel like I was cheated up meeting somebody that was a player. You know, I'm a big time, you know, Philly player. I like to do my homework. I like to do my flowers to everybody. Look good. So just playing in this every year is like really dope. You know, once I graduated out of college, it was like I want to play in a Rumph.
Yeah.
That's all I cared about.
Right.
You know, going overseas and then playing in a Rumph. That was my main things. And it means a lot, man, to the city, to the area, you know, for his family and friends. So to keep his name alive. And it's nothing but greatness, man. I've been loving it. I've been enjoying it the last 4 years.
That's wild, though. I didn't know that you were there that day. Of course, not knowing him all that well, but meeting him, good pickup, and just happenstance that you were there when
I was young. I was I think I was in high school.
Yeah.
I think I was in high school when it happened, or my first year of college, maybe. But I remember we went up there. It was like a North Philly versus Uptown thing. We was talking, you know. It was that time Danny Rumph was he was the best one up there. We had Maurice Rice, the best one in our area.
Yeah.
They finally get to play against each other, you know.
Yeah.
Crazy. That was crazy. So, but definitely want to keep his name alive, keep it going.
And Mike and the family and everybody, the circle of friends, they're doing a great job of doing
Sharif Hanford, Justin, Mike, Miss Katie, they doing a great job.
Brandon was on earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brandon,
and then extending it to your team because they were talking about how Hakeem Warwick was influential in bringing the pros in and bringing players in. But now you guys, Mars Twins, yourself playing overseas, you develop these relationships, and then you guys start bringing people in.
Yeah, it started with Harton. You know, they brought Harton that 1 year, and after that, it was like, we got to keep up with it now. So then you brought John Wall. Then 1 year we don't get a team. 8-I bring Tatum.
Yeah.
You know, so it just keeps going.
I saw Jamie talking about that. I'm like, damn, I didn't know Jamie was doing that. Brought Tatum in.
8-I brought Tatum, you know. So, I mean, we just going to keep trying to get people up here. Then we have Maxey. Then you have other little pros that play. But, you know, we're trying to keep it alive, you know, get a bigger name every year if we can, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody like a Reggie Jackson who just came to the city, step on the court and show Philly some love.
But it was cool to see him just come and sit on your bench.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
Right?
I was shocked.
And,
you know?
of course, he and Colin knowing each other from Denver.
Yes,
and him dapping him up, even though you guys, unfortunately, didn't win the game. But that's dope that he was able to talk. And I talked to him afterwards, and he was like, man, I just love this stuff.
Yeah.
And
he's going to play.
Yeah.
He's going to play. But, you know, he said he was fatigued, tired, had a lot going on. So I won't be shocked next year if he suit up.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely. So your team went in and all the things that you guys have done, but also you just simply, just one of your favorite memories not related to your actual FOA team.
My favorite memory?
As a spectator.
As a spectator, I'm going to say.
Unfortunately, maybe being knocked out.
Hold on. No.
You know, see, that's many years.
I'm going to tell you, my favorite one at Mallory.
Yeah.
I was young. Mike Green, Sharif Bray, and them, they upset Chuck Ellis, I think. Chuck had all the pros. Maurice Bates, Mark Tyndall, and you got this Danny Rumph Mallory team with a bunch of little guys like Mike Green, Sharif Bray. And I remember overtime, Sharif Bray hit the buzzer beater.
Everybody's like 3 people have mentioned that one already.
Oh my goodness, man! I think it was like a floater or something. Like it just came out the room, he got it, floated it back up, game stormed the court.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait to play in this, you know.
Yeah.
And eventually it left Mallory and went to Arcadia. It went bigger and bigger and bigger. So I didn't get a chance to play in Mallory, but I wish I would have, man.
Yeah. And you playing overseas, having a really good career over there, that's great. No, great career overseas. And then coming back, but you always carry your Philly roots. How important is it to have this a part of your Philly roots and talking about it, talking to other people about it as well?
It's really important because people don't really know. We don't have a real, we just had a pro-am just now. Brother Lev just started the pro-am, so with us just not having a pro-am and everyone else, like the Cali people got their Drew League.
The Drew League and all that stuff.
Other leagues going on. Just to talk about the Danny Rumph was crazy.
But it was cool to have you guys a part of it last summer.
Yes.
With that tournament in L.A.
Yes. So, I mean, it's great, man, to talk about it because it's only 5 days. People don't understand. They think
I know.
It's a league.
The bragging rights. When Scoop was talking about it, you know.
It's 5 days.
For 360 days, you get to brag about it.
Right, for sure. So it's not like June, July.
Yeah, it's not an 8-month thing.
It's really a weekend thing, and you got bragging rights just off a weekend. And it's double elimination. That's the beauty about it. And, I think it's a unique thing. It's different.
Yeah.
Everybody got games you play weekly, but just having 5 days, 2-game elimination, you got to bring it y'all. You know?
Yeah. Vin, thanks, man. Appreciate you stepping in. When's the next game?
We're about to play right now.
See, we got to get him out of here so you can go lace him up and get out there. Good luck, man.
We'll see Vinny Simpson
checking in with us here. Now we got to bring he's going to be making the calls. They can shake hands right now, but Vinny might be yelling at him on the floor a little bit. We got to bring in the official. We got to bring the official, Tim Green. Tim,
how you doing, sir?
Good to see you, man.
Great to see you again.
Sweaty and everything. Get this man a towel, man. What are you guys doing?
Man,
something.
Some makeup or something.
No, this is live podcast. You know what? Use that towel if you need it right there.
It, brother.
All right, behind you, our good people from Body Armor with the official towel. You've been involved in this in a while, man. How did you get involved in this?
So after retiring from the Navy, U.S. Navy, after 20 years, near the end of my career, I started refereeing pro basketball in Japan.
Yeah.
As soon as I retired, the NBA put me in a program. Came home, came across a few people that was already involved with this. Mm-hmm. They put me on, and then I've been in love ever since.
Yeah, so how do you compare this to those professional games that you have to officiate to games like this where anything can happen, the emotions are high, you know that it's a great cause and all that, but guess what? The competition and the competitiveness stands out, especially for, as we were just talking about with Vinny, it's only 5 days, man, and the bragging rights are on the line.
Yep. Anytime I touch the court, it's a standard you have to hold. Mm-hmm. If I'm working the finals of whatever in Danny Rumph, you have to hold that standard because if you don't, players know it. Mm-hmm. And once you stop holding that standard, they basically just run them up, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how many more games do you have to do today? Are you doing the next game?
Just one more, yep.
Oh, well, look, you taking a break to come up here and hang out, get a breather with us?
Hey, I needed to get a little workout in because I've been off a little bit because we're WNBA, we're on a break.
Yeah.
So I needed to get some running, and I need this bad. So.
Yeah, no, that's good. So in the WNBA part, how great is that for you to continue to be able to do that for as many years as you have? Yeah. And then just talking with everybody, we're talking to Maggie and talking to Ayanna and talking with Will about the women's game that is going on and how it's grown.
Yeah, it's insane right now, right? I remember,
and you've seen the differences in the crowd, you being the official.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like night and day in some cities, like night and day. I remember 13 years ago when I first got in the WNBA, it was like some places you go and it would be more people here than it'd be at the games.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's great right now, man. It's great to see this finally with these women that work hard on their craft. It's starting to, pan out for them.
All right. Have you done the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark game yet? Have you had that?
I've had them in college.
Yeah.
So I have, yeah. I've had them in WNBA too.
All right, so you got to speak on that, man. We're basketball fans here. We want to know about how that is, and just the fact that they have brought a lot of eyes to the game, both of them, and how it has really brought so much attention to the game, and how those games are always competitive, and it's fun to watch those two go at it. Forget about who they are as friends and all that stuff. It's just two competitors on the floor.
Yep. I mean, it's basically equivalent to, if you guys remember back in the day when Larry Bird and Magic came in. Mm-hmm. They were competition when they were in college, and then they came to the league, which basically saved the NBA, if you really think about it. So you can say this is built the WNBA.
Yeah.
This is started. We look back 20 years from now and say this is where that stepping stone was.
Oh, that's dope, man. Yeah, no, this is great, man. We have to talk off camera more. I have a lot of questions, officiating questions.
But it's got to be off the record.
Oh, it's always off the record. Yeah, I won't bring that to work and doing that. But listen, man, Tim, thanks so much, man.
Yes,
get that breather, get some fluids.
Yes, sir.
So you can get that work in, and good luck during the season.
Thank you so much.
As you're out there during the WNBA season when things get back underway.
Thanks again, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Tim. Appreciate it. Tim Green, official, of course, here, and official for the WNBA. And just doing a fantastic job. So this has been fun. Again, the first live podcast for the Danny Rumph Classic, and having this going on in the moment as the game has happened. Let me see what the final score. I didn't see what the final score, but I do know that the Danny Rumph Center did win. So Danny Rumph Center win. We're going to have a guest hopefully come in from the team as they picked up the W. But just speaking for myself and having all these conversations, the one thing that clearly stands out is the fact that everyone has Danny Rumph on the mind, right? And Daniel Rumph and the foundation that they have, and so many things involved. The unfortunate cardiac arrest situation and unfortunate passing. And the one thing that they want to continue to do is bring awareness to making sure you get the screenings, you have you're checked out, and having the defibrillators in the buildings where any type of athletic event is happening, and just doing that. So to continue to hear them and see them talk about it, hear these great memories, so many people coming in for the entire 19 years that they've been a part of the Danny Rumph Classic, that has been great. And 68-57 was the final score. The Rumph Center got the victory. And look, a lot of people have their favorites of who they want to see win, and I'm sure the Danny Rumph Center is one of that. And right now we are going to have, actually the coach coming in, and we talked about the friends and the circle of friends and doing this for so many years, being around not just for the 19 years, but the relationship that he had with Danny Rumph in his time here and doing so. We get the official coming off the floor after he's calling the game, and I'm sure that you don't have a problem with Tim Green after you got a 68-57 victory there, Sharif Bray.
I always have a problem with Tim. Tim's my guy. I always got a problem with Tim. Tim ain't take me golfing in a while, so we have a problem until he takes me golfing again.
Well, Tim, when you listen back to this or watch this a little bit later, you got to make sure you get Sharif out there and golfing. He's on a break anyways. The WNBA's on a break.
Yeah, he's on a break, but
we got time.
Listen, we go golfing. We haven't golfed in a while, so we're beefing.
All right, how did you get the win down here?
We play hard. I mean, Quan played phenomenal. Daquan Davis played phenomenal for us. I think he finished, I want to say, somewhere in the 20s. Pretty much shot, at least had to shoot 80%. And then we actually played good defense, and they shot pretty bad from three. And with new basketball, if you shoot bad from three, you're probably going to lose.
Absolutely. Because if you get hot on the one end with those threes and all, and getting out in transition, long rebound, you go. You're at a disadvantage right there. Yeah, so 19 years, and your friend, his name is on your chest right now.
Yes, it is.
That's why we're sitting here talking about him. And, man, first to ask you, because I've asked so many others, Uncle Marcus and Brandon had on earlier, how proud of all of you would he be that you guys are doing this and keeping this thing going the way that you have?
So I have a little different perspective. He would be proud, but he was so funny. Like, because that was my roommate in AAU. He was just like, y'all did this? Like, what? Like, I could just see that. Like, all our AAU trips, he was my roommate. He just was like a jokester. So he's going to be like, why did you do this for me? Like, that's what I see it every time I say it.
No, but you need both perspectives of it.
Yeah, that's all I ever think of. Is like, he would just laugh. And like, you did all this for me. Like, that's what I just already know how he would be.
Yeah. But seeing all of this for him, 19 years, how proud of it, of you guys being able with the family, your circle group that you have, the friends, to keep this thing going and running it the way that you have.
Oh, I'm so proud. I mean, everybody's doing a phenomenal job. Like, it's just getting bigger and better every year. It's like, I don't even know. Every year after the tournament, I sit with Mike like, how are we going to top that? And then I don't know. And then somehow we have a live podcast in the game. And I was like, this is I didn't want to curse. This is amazing.
Are we holding up the standard well enough? Are we doing a good enough job?
This is amazing. Like,
okay, cool.
I'm like, I wanted to go on before the game, but I had to coach.
Right.
So,
But you came back.
I'm not leaving now. So he doesn't understand. Like, we'll be here. Every guest we have to add another chair right
this
here.
This is the Sharif and Devon Danny Rumph Classic Podcast.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere.
We're here
right
together.
Now. We'll get Dino in a little bit later.
Nah, get Dino. It's just us. We could be here all day.
Brought to you by the Body Armor here behind us. But
yes.
But again, man, just to have this and have this type of, as you said, topping it every year. We're about to get to year number 20. You guys are.
I know.
And it's unbelievable. I came in. I knew about it, but I knew Mike. I've known Mike for over a decade now, about 12 years, and basketball brings people together. We had a mutual friend. I'm covering the Sixers. After a game, I think we went over to Xfinity Live or something, and me and Mike sparked up a friendship from there, and we're off and running from there.
Yeah, I mean, basketball is such a community, and especially in this city, like, you know everybody. We all get together. We all hang out. We all love each other. We all love the game. So, like, just that alone is part of, like, it's special. I've been to many cities. It's more, like, this is when we have this, and, like, we do the Philadelphia Legends, like, it's a great feeling that I get, and I love it. I mean, it's my favorite month. It's my most busiest month, and it kills my life, but it's one of the best parts of my life.
Every time I've asked people about one of their favorite memories, I'll say we probably had about 7 guests already. So since you like what we're doing with the podcast, we got people rolling in. They brought up your game winner. Everybody brings up your game winner, and as their favorite moment.
I mean, it's one of my. I mean, of course, it's my favorite moment, but I just have the first or the second year when, like, I'm like, me and Mike were like, is anybody gonna come? And then I get there to bring stuff in. It's people waiting to come in the gym, and I'm like, that's one of my, like, those are the moments that I like. Like, my actually scoring and players is great, but it's like, we didn't, like, one year me and Mike really thought, like, is anybody gonna come this year? Because we didn't promote it. It was a whole thing, and then there's people waiting outside. And I was like, yeah, we're good. Like, those are my favorite moments, and like preparing it. It's like I'm past playing anymore because I'm old and my knees are done, but like all those are my favorite moments. Like just those things, like preparing it now and seeing how excited everybody gets. Like, oh, who's coming this year? What shorts coming? All that's my favorite moments. So
let me ask you about that, because I see Dino with his shorts on, and I know he has all the shirts from the very beginning and all that stuff. I'm sure you guys do too. How does the design come into all of it? Because you see so many people walking around in different variations of the shorts, the T-shirts, so many other things, and they're all different, but they're all dope, and you see so many different ones out there on the street in different countries and different cities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so how did they come together?
So Mike worked for And1, so he designed, I don't know how long ago it was, but and he designed the shorts. Then I ended up working for Mike at a company, and I was like, we just started designing shorts together. Like, we just give everybody that plays a pair of shorts. Like, whatever. We're just trying to make it cool. And then next thing you know.
Was this the Boathouse?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So me and Mike just design. Now we just kind of like put our heads together and we like, I design a short, her design a short. We collab sometimes. And then Mike has some crazy ideas.
So you're still involved in it? In the designing?
Yeah. It starts about January, and we just kind of, email, text.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk every 5 minutes anyway, so it's like, what is shooting? He's like, I thought, like, where was I at? I was in Louisville, Chicago. Some random person I never knew had a pair of Rumph shorts on. And then I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, you came to Philly? Like, no, I seen it online. And I was like, I just bought them online.
So they're from there?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not even from here.
I just asked.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends was in were they in Spain? They said they saw somebody with Rumph shorts on. And They just texted me, and I was like, that's crazy.
That's dope.
That's crazy.
And it has to make you proud, though.
It makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
Like, not even proud, like cry. Like, it's like, I guess proud is the word, but it's more like I'm shocked.
Yeah.
More like, wow. Like people ask me all the time, you got any more? You got any extra? Where we go? What's the new design? Send me something early. I'm like, we haven't even finished what we're doing for this year. Let's worry about next year's.
That's dope, man. Well, listen, I'm happy to be a part of it in this small way.
Oh, no,
As Mike asked me to do this.
It's not a small way. It's not a small way. This is a big way. This idea was brilliant, and I'm so happy.
So it's my bad. It's a year late because I tore my Achilles playing last summer. And I told Mike I would still do it. Just give me something I could put my leg up, whatever. He was like, dude, just stay home.
Yeah.
And we'll do it next year. So once this year rolled around, we talked about it, and I said, no problem, I'll be there. And I'm happy to be sitting here with you, man, for year number 19.
Thank you so much. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Like, I'm going to tape this and put this on this picture right here is going to be my screensaver on my phone.
See, again, you got the Sharif and Devon Danny Rumph Classic Podcast.
Yes, and we're going to have another podcast. He don't know yet. We're going to talk about my idea.
Talk about that.
We're going to have a podcast every day now.
And then next year,
a bunch of content
I have Danny coming into the studio, Tuesday, to promote it again. I've been talking about, but promote it. And we're only down the street anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So next year, when we get ready to promote it again, your turn. You're coming in.
It's going to be a 4-hour podcast, so make sure y'all have coffee, tea, whatever you need.
Body armor, everything. Food.
Body armor.
Where's Chef Karan has to make sure we have some food for that.
Yes.
Sharif, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Congrats
Appreciate
on the win. And we got to get one of your players stepping in here as Dino comes in. And he's also been a part of it for the 19 years. He doesn't have one of these shirts on, all of the shirts, because Dino has you have every shirt from the inception of the Danny Rumph Classic, right?
At one point I did.
So where are they? They just kind of...
you start moving. And
but you got to have a special box for that.
I did at one point.
Yeah.
And then some of my friends, they wanted to act like they played in the Danny Rumph tournament.
I do too. That's how I get my stuff. I buy my stuff. Mike gives me stuff. It's like, I played.
Well, now you can go downstairs and buy shorts.
Exactly.
And then you can get the jersey, the older jerseys.
I saw that.
So it's kind of lost its value a little bit from that standpoint.
So I was just talking to Sharif about the design of how he and Mike put things together.
Oh yeah.
But just how cool it's not just the players or the coaches or anybody a part of the staff, but it's also now a regular person walking down the street. He's talking about people texting him from Spain. He's in Chicago. He sees somebody with the Danny Rumph shorts, and how cool that is.
It's kind of crazy because I'll never forget. I was in the airport. I was sitting down, like with my shorts on.
Yeah.
I forgot. I think it was the weekend of the Danny Rumph tournament. I was going somewhere, maybe like the Saturday. I guess a random guy just walked by and was like, "Yo, you playing in the Think Rumph tournament? I'm about to go there right now."
So
I'm like, yeah. He was like, "Where are you?" He's like, "Why are you leaving?" He's
Where
like,
you
"Isn't
going?
it right
You
now?"
got a game
I'm
to play, man. What are you doing?
I think it was like a funeral or something.
Okay,
so I had to leave like the Saturday game. So, but it was kind of crazy that people are flying in. They see my shorts and they're just kind of like, So it's cool that it's grown that big.
Yeah.
Just kind of seeing it over the years and it evolved and get bigger and bigger and bigger and.
Are you surprised at all, though? I mean, the way that this thing has the legs that it does have and continues to mean so much to so many people, and there's so many people that have come in and sat down, right, just talking about it. They've just talked about how it brings the basketball community together. And for these 5 days, number one, it's the bragging rights for everybody throughout the year. Yeah. But it's just having everybody together and just enjoying Philadelphia basketball.
Yeah. So what I think separates this tournament from a lot of other tournaments, there's a reason, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not really just the basketball aspect of it. It's some people start basketball tournaments and it's just so that way they can get some money, right? They earned some money and then went out into the community and said, hey, let's get defibrillators everywhere. Yep. Let's start checking the children.
Screen check-ins throughout the year.
Yeah. And then just
screenings.
Putting it in every recreation center, putting it in every school, just places so that way, and then just having the regular screenings, it gave it a bigger reason why. Yeah. Right. So now it's not even just. So part of the reason why I play every year, I had heart surgery when I was younger.
Okay.
So in the gym that Danny passed in, I used to play in there all the time, and I thought it was kind of crazy. Like the following year, like after he passed, I had my heart surgery, and I was. So now it's like it means something to me.
Sure.
Where it's kind of like, Now I have to play. I have to, every year I spend, at least $100 on shirts or something. Even though we get our stuff, we can get some free stuff.
Yeah, but you spend the money.
I spend money.
Yeah,
right. So just
because it's going to the foundation.
It's the reason, right?
Exactly.
So it's bigger than just the basketball. The bragging rights are nice. Get a couple chips here and there and just kind of, but I always appreciate them for what they're doing in the community from that standpoint.
Yeah.
So that's my main reason for coming back every year. It's getting a little bit tougher, getting older.
No, man. Put those knee braces on. Put the sleeve on. Whenever you get the ice.
Yes.
And you'll be good to go.
Right.
But so you guys just took care of business. 11-point win. When do you next play? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow, and then I've figured out if you're in the championship on Monday night. Well, look, I mean, you're the only player that can. No, Sam did come up here. Sam Sessions came up here. Don't tell him I'm rooting for you guys, though. Yeah. So and you and Sharif are now the podcast. It's now the Dino, Sharif, and Devon Danny Rumph Classic Podcast, the live podcast.
The big three.
The big three. But he's still playing. I'm not, and I'll just
I'll grab all the rebounds, play all the defense,
and I'll pass you the ball so you can get a quick layup.
No,
fast.
that time's over.
That time's over.
I said good screens.
Said nice screens.
Yeah, get a good
I
nice
can see
little
that.
put back here and there. Just kind of stay in my lane.
All right. Listen, we all know our roles, don't we? Yeah, we all know our roles. But look, don't go away because now we're going to sign off, and we might as well sign off together. Here for this one, and then you got a game tomorrow. So we appreciate everybody here, a part of this podcast, the first live podcast for all the guests. We had a number of guests. I don't remember all of them off the top of my name. I could look at the phone and probably see all the names that I still have in here because I don't want to leave anyone out. We had Chef Karan Horn come in. We had Dino. We had Sharif Bray, Brandon Huff. We had Guy Funny come in at halftime. Come up here and jump on. Tim Green came up here. Ayanna Howard. We had Maggie Lucas also come up. Uncle Mark came up here, stopped by as well. So we had a number of people come through.
Some legends.
We had some legends. And we will be back tomorrow. So we're going to do this again tomorrow. We're going to start at the same time, 2 o'clock tomorrow, right here on the same feed for the first live Danny Rumph podcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Make sure you go to the Danny Rumph Foundation and donate and do everything you can to help out with the foundation. Because as Dino said, it's not just about the basketball. It's about the purpose behind it all. And that's why Danny's name is on everything because we want to keep his name going. Year 19, man. Year number 19.
We got to get you some Rumph gear, bro.
Oh, I have some. Should I wear it on camera?
I don't even know what Nike is anymore.
Oh, let me cover that up, this up. We'll do that. So Dino and I talk about that after we get off camera. But everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will make sure that we go to the stream for the podcast as well as we do this live while the game is going on. I didn't get a chance to watch you set those screens, grab those rebounds, and those kickouts.
Plenty more coming.
We'll do that tomorrow. I'm a pro, so I'll just turn around and see, Dino just did that. My co-host did that. Everybody have a great rest, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, 2 o'clock right here on the stream of the Danny